Hello. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Has.
It's been a while since I've seen all of you. How are you all?
Say too long.
Too long indeed. I've missed you all. I've missed you all. I've missed playing with you. It's funny too because as we're recording this, we're all getting ready to see each other in person.
Yeah.
For the first time. I've obviously seen Danny and Nick in person, but I'm going to meet Johnny in person for the first time. We're all going to hang out,
and I'm meeting all of you for the first time in person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good. It's going to be good stuff. Yeah, we will be in. In fact, if you're listening to this on the RSS feed, we'll be in Indianapolis at Gen Con when the audio for this is released. If you're watching the video again, we'll be getting ready to leave. But if you're, I think we said on put something on social. If you're in Indianapolis, come say hi to us.
Yeah.
Johnny and I are going to be in the third floor of the Hyatt pretty much all weekend.
Yeah. Both of us are GMing games for Magpie, so we'll be up there a whole bunch.
Yeah, they have the entire third floor of the Hyatt. They've got like their own little mini con inside of Gen Con. Going there. I'm running some Avatar Legends. Johnny's running Avatar Legends as well. I'm running all the intro stuff. So
and I'm running all the pre-gens out of the new Uncle Iroh book.
Yes, you're running like a long con.
Yes.
I'm report back to us. I'm really interested on your thoughts on how this I love generational play. I think it's a fascinating concept that isn't explored enough in the TTRPG space. So I'm super interested to see what you think of it on the other side.
There's a possibility I won't actually end up GMing that. There are 2 Uncle Iroh tables that are going to be going. One is sold out and one had no tickets sold at last I checked. And so and I don't know which one I'm GMing. And
which
so
one you are. Sure.
If I'm the one who's not sold any tickets and there still aren't tickets sold by the time the con starts, I'll be like a fill-in GM for other games or
other games.
Things. So
sure.
Yeah. And so we'll see. I'm hoping that I'm the one who's actually doing Uncle Iroh and then I can report back about how it goes. But
wonderful. Well, today we are recording a little mini campaign. We typically do stuff during the summer. That's a little bit more fun, not as serious, but still has some meat to it. So we're playing a game called Fist Avalon, which is a hack of the game Fist, which is about paranormal mercenaries. Fist Avalon is not about paranormal mercenaries. They've changed it so that you are Arthurian knights. But I thought to myself and said, why do we have to have one without the other? Why can't there be supernatural tech in a fantasy magical Arthurian world? And so instead of doing just Fist Avalon being knights, you are all knights with your own power armor, basically. And this is a world of magic and technology, an alternate world in which Arthur is the king of Britain, but there are skyscrapers and airships and fireballs as well. And I'm very excited. I spent some time trying to like rehash a little bit of the Arthurian lore, but just enough that we could still play with it. This isn't going to be like a 1-for-1 remake of like, this is exactly what happened in Thomas Mallory's translation of the Arthurian legend. Like it's going to be, we're going to play with it a little bit. I'm excited. Are you all excited?
Very.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So excited.
Pull up those character sheets. Spin your dice. And give me a scream.
A scream?
Yeah. Because here we go. I think we should start with making characters, as is tradition for most tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of those it'd be kind of hard to play without them. We could try though. That would be funny one time.
If anyone could do it, we could.
That'd be funny. All right, here is how we're gonna do this. I'll let you at the very end sort of talk about their name, their age, their gender, and those sort of personal details. You can just share those at the end, but let's get into the meat and the bones of the character, the mechanics. You're gonna have 4 stats. You've got forceful, which is for displays of strength. You've got creative, which is for expressions of will, tactical for your expressions, applications of logic, and then reflexive for feats of agility. This is classic PBTA. You're going to roll 2d6. You're going to add your stat, and 0 to 6 is a failure. I don't know how you would get a 0, though. 0 to 6 is a failure. 7 to 9 is a partial success. 10 plus is a success. And in this game, there are crits, my friends. So double
Amazing.
6s is a critical success. Can
we have negative stats?
You can't. So I was just about to get to that. In
Okay.
most PBTA, it's really difficult. Have you ever rolled negative, even when we were playing Avatar Legends? Maybe once.
I had a
right?
negative. I had a -1 to one of my stats when we played Avatar Legends, but I'm just realizing because I was trying to think about how I could get a 0, and even if I rolled 2 1s, I'd still have a 1.
You'd still have a 1. Yeah, you'd have to have a -2 and roll 2 1s. Which the odds of that would be just enormous. Anyway, so each of your knights, this game is a little different than other PBTAs. You've got health in this game. You're going to start with 6 HP. It might go up during character creation. It might go down during character creation. You're going to start with 6 HP. I will say as well, too, the original Fist, I don't know about this. The original Fist is a highly lethal game. So don't get too attached to your knights because they might die. You're going to start with 6 max HP. You're going to start with 0 armor. Armor is going to reduce the damage you take. So we're just going to reduce whatever damage is dealt to you by the armor that you have. You are going to start with 1 war dice. Now, each of you are going to have an expendable resource called war dice. You will gain them throughout the game. You'll lose them throughout the game. Anytime you want to, you can expend a war dice to add another d6 to your roll. Make sense? We might play around with it. We'll see what the rolls end up being. Maybe at the end I'll be like, keep the 2 highest. So war dice basically gives you an advantage. But maybe we'll just keep it now for just add an extra dice and add that to
because that can be kind of insane. Like getting 15s, 16s in our results.
now I will say you're not going to be flush with war dice, right? You're not going to have like 10 war dice that you
also
can use
they're pretty
whatever
they're
it's
pretty
worth. If you were getting a 15 or a 16 because you added your war dice, you did not need to add your war dice to that roll.
True.
Yeah, like well, I think you have to add it beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to double check that. I would imagine you would have to be before, be like, I'm going to add a war die instead of after.
War dice.
I guess I just assumed it would be like a thing like with like Lucky or Bardic in D&D where you can add it before or do it before you know the result, but after you've seen your roll.
Yeah, the thing is there aren't DCs in this game. It makes sense in those games because you've got like a hidden DC that the GM
That's
has.
true.
And
That's true.
But with this,
but
you know you can roll
if you failed when
like,
you roll.
Oh no, I'm gonna add a war die.
That's true. That's true.
So you each start with 1 word die. And you're gonna start with a 0 in each of your 4 attributes. Now, on page 5 of Fist Avalon is a list of virtues. You are knights. You have a exemplary virtue that you embody. It is the virtue that you embody the most. I would like for each of you to pick one of those virtues, and then you are going to pick one of those virtues that it is difficult for your knight to embody, and that becomes your vice. I read this and I was like, that's not what a vice is. A vice is not struggling to show a virtue. It's the opposite of the virtue. So, but for this game, pick one of the virtues that your knight struggles with. That is their vice.
What's
Well,
your vice?
I think I understand what they're saying. Like if I say that my vice is courage, I'm not saying that I struggle with being too courageous. I'm saying I'm a coward.
I know,
right?
but that's my point. The vice is not courage. The vice is cowardice.
Sure.
So but for our intended purposes, put one of these virtues down as your vice.
So if I choose nobility, is my vice being poor?
No, it'd be cruel. I would say cruel would be a vice.
Oh, noble. I got it mixed up with like
kindness.
You're like a noble.
You are of a noble ilk. You have been born into nobility. Yeah, no, that is not. No, noble in the sense of the virtue.
I think I'm gonna choose mercy. I don't know if
we're saying virtue?
What we're choosing. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a leaning, Nick?
Hope.
Nice. I was thinking justice for mine. So.
Oh wow! Look at us.
Love it. What vices are we looking at?
Faith.
Okay.
I like
mercy.
Yes.
I was like, what if we chose each other's virtues as our vices? But
I mean that could be interesting. But there's also like I think there's things where it's like I'm looking at the virtues in terms of like, okay, like I'm using justice as my virtue, and if mercy is my vice, then like I lack the thing that's also going to temper my virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh. Right.
Like a vigilante.
I'm gonna say courage for my vice.
Okay, you're a coward. I love it. Okay, so when when you act in accordance with your chosen virtue or successfully struggle against your vice, that's how you're going to advance, essentially. So these virtue and vice is the core of how your character advances and becomes different.
So it's sort of like your balance track in Avatar.
It's a little bit like your balance track, but it doesn't have an actual track to it. Yeah. If you ever act in direct opposition to your virtue, though, you're going to become broken. And does your character sheet have what broken does to your character?
Yeesh.
Okay, perfect. The only way to not be broken is to go on a personal quest to become redeemed. Very fun. Maybe that'll come up. It'd be very interesting if that does. It would very much change whatever I had planned if we end up having to do a personal quest, but I think that'll be cool. If you succumb to your vice during a quest, you become tainted. To lose tainted, what do you have to do? You have to undertake a quest where the primary virtue, all of the quests that I give you are going to have like a primary virtue attached to it. So I'll give you a quest that has a primary virtue that is the same as your vice, and you must struggle against it the entire quest. If you do that, you become renewed and you lose tainted. It's a very it's fun. They did a really good job making this feel Arthurian.
Yeah. I will say, I feel like there's, especially because I chose justice and mercy as my vice and virtue, there's a pretty high probability I'm going to end up needing to go on a personal quest.
I'm very interested now that you've chosen that with this very first quest that we're going to have. It's going to be very fascinating. I was really, I knew it. I was hoping somebody would choose something in the justice or mercy virtue vice paradigm. So
I hadn't really looked closely at the book, but I came into this thinking, like in terms of Arthurian legend, like I want to play as much as I can, like a classic paladin would be in D&D.
Sure. That's very paladin-y.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got your virtue and vice. Go on to page 6. There are what are called rank traits. You can only ever have 5 traits. And then an optional 6. We're not going to get to that. But one of these is your rank traits. For all of you, you start at as a novice knight. So you get marked down that you have the novice trait. It's going to give you a few things. Novice is a knight that has recently joined the order and sworn an oath to the King Arthur. You are eager to serve and to make a name for yourself. So you're going to add +1 to an attribute of your choice. You each get a horse that has 6 max HP as well. You each get an iron sword that does 1d6 damage. And you have inherited some armor. Could be from another knight, could be inherited from just the vast store of, I'm assuming, armor that King Arthur in Britain has. But you're going to add +1 to your armor. So there's that. And then after you've made those changes, you get to pick 2 other traits. I will point out a couple things. There are origin traits on page 6 as well. You can only choose those now. You would not be able to choose those as a part of any advancement. They have suggested traits for what works from the original Fist, which is about, again, paranormal mercenaries. Traits from that game that work well with this game. I'm opening it up to any trait in Fist. Because I think there's some fun paranormal stuff in there. I think there's some fun tech stuff in there that, because we're doing a more Magitech setting, we can make work. So when you've got those traits, you'll at this point, there's not really any difference between any of the clear circles that give you something and the ones that have the circle marked in. You can it's not going to mean anything to you right now. It will come up later, but for now it doesn't mean anything. There's some fun ones in here, like, while you're all thinking, the very first one on the original Fist was accountant. It's just a number cruncher. And I was joking at the start that I think it'd be funny if somebody chose accountant and it was just like a bookkeeping night. They pull their sword out occasionally, but mostly they're there to just be like, how much money did we spend on this quest? Okay, let me go to the treasury and balance those books. You get a coffee thermos if you take accountant.
Ooh. I'm just out. Oh, okay, page 39. I thought the traits on Fist would be like towards the beginning of the book.
No, they're at the end. Yes, they're at the end.
Traits.
There's a lot. There's a lot of
traits. Yeah,
traits.
there are.
Because it's really like it's what defines your character. It's what gives you like cool little abilities and stuff and whatnot.
39 is still in like the first third of the book. It's close to the beginning.
Oh,
man,
true.
There's some cool traits.
It was at the end of the first page of the table of contents, so that's why I thought it was at the end of the book.
Oh.
Astronaut.
I mean, but like yeah, it sounds out of this world, but like that was a pun. Like unintended pun.
I'm choosing aquatic.
But you could totally do astronaut. Like I think that would still work. Like who's to say that in this much more technologically advanced society that Britain doesn't have a space program? The round table, Knights of the Round Table doesn't have a space. It has a space. It absolutely has a space program, especially if you chose astronaut.
And we're just choosing one other trait, correct?
2 other traits. You get two other traits. Yeah.
Crazy kooky guy.
As you guys are looking, whenever you know what they want, let us know. There are some that have requirements to have another trait, usually a rank trait. But these traits are going to like change your stats. So a lot of times they're going to increase one stat. They might also then decrease another stat. You might get extra health. You might get a cool item that your other knights don't have.
Wouldn't it be 3 other traits?
No, it's 2. You get a rank trait and then 2 other traits.
I thought we got 5 traits.
You can have up to 5 traits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, character creation, we get the 2.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't pay a lot of attention in school. Could you tell?
It'd be very hard to slide having the mercy virtue, but also being a cannibal.
Well, maybe he thinks eating people. Maybe he only eats them as a mercy. I've been watching.
Maybe it's like a ritual thing.
I've been watching Dexter. Maybe he only goes after bad people.
I only eat bad people.
I only eat bad people.
Come on.
I believe they're already dead.
All right.
But also the fact that my vice is courage, I feel like I just cannot slide cannibal.
But you want it. You know you want it.
I want it so bad.
What are we thinking? Does anyone have any?
There are so many traits from Fist.
I tried to tell you. I was like, look at them beforehand, because there's a lot.
Oh yeah, we're getting there for sure.
So hang on, just to clarify, because I'm still a little bit confused.
Yeah.
So we have novice, which is our rank trait.
Yep.
We pick an origin trait, and then we get one other trait.
No, you don't have to pick an origin trait. You can pick an origin trait.
Oh,
you only pick
okay.
it now if you want it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
But if I pick an origin trait, that is one of the 2 traits that I get.
That is one of the 2 traits. Correct. Yes. But if you don't pick it now, you'll never be able to pick up an origin trait.
Okay. So I think it'd be silly not to pick up an origin trait.
I mean, there's some cool stuff in this.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to take duelist.
Yeah, I took doors from Fist.
Doors?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That is very cool.
That is cool.
Wait, my key ring does damage?
Yeah.
The heck?
Maybe that maybe it's like a mini sword.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just flat damage as well. It's not
Yeah. Yep. That is cool. It's the same stats, right? Yeah. Okay.
Doors is +1 forceful. And I think I want to choose one of the origin ones, maybe.
Oh, okay. What I'll let you look. I have a question for Danny though, based on doors.
I kind of want to take chef.
Chef? Love it.
It's working for me.
I love it.
Yeah, that's from Original Fist.
Wow, that is really cool. That is pretty cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking duelist from Original Fist. I think that'll be fun with my justice leaning.
Ah, I do like that. Yes.
Yeah, if I'm understanding everything that's written here correctly, if I use the laser katana that comes with it, and I intimidate, taunt, or seduce an opponent before a fair fight with one person, I'll have
+2 damage.
I'll have +5 damage in that fight.
Deal. If it's a
fair fight, I get +1.
Fair fight.
It's a fair fight with a single opponent, +1.
Yeah.
If I attempt to intimidate, taunt, or seduce them first, I
Sure.
also get another +1. I get
Sure.
+2 from using my laser katana, and I get
Yeah.
+1 because it's a melee weapon.
Yeah.
And I just get +1 to melee weapons.
Yeah. I think the fair fight is the operative word for me.
Yeah, but that's still.
I think there are definitely situations where you intimidate, taunt, or seduce someone, and that is not a fair fight.
Sure.
But
I mean, so that would be.
Then it's still plus, yeah.
Well, so I would only get the other +3. So I'd still get +3. Anytime I'm using a melee weapon, I still get +3.
Yep.
If I take
if you're using that laser katana.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Which,
I will note.
Why would I use a different weapon at that point?
Yeah, you got a laser katana.
Yeah.
Note: increase combat lethality.
Note to self: kill Johnny.
Note to self: make combat harder. Otherwise, Johnny will make it too easy.
I am not an intentional min-maxer, but I will fall into it if I'm given the opportunity.
It just happens. You're like, damn it, I did it again.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite of a min-maxer. So I'm playing in a Curse of Strahd game right now with some employees at work, friends at work, and I'd been playing for a while. I was playing Soul Knife Rogue, which is a very fun ability. I just get to create psionic daggers, so I'm never unarmed. It's a very fun subclass.
That is cool.
But then another person joined, and they also created a rogue as well too. And that's fine. I don't feel stepped on at all. You can totally do what you want, but I'm like, I want to differentiate myself. It is such a bad idea, but I'm planning to multi-class for story reasons. And I know it makes my character so much weaker because rogues need to just level up in rogue to get that sneak attack damage, but it's, I don't know, the story. I had my basically my history. So I was an Aasimar, fallen Aasimar, and now I'm just a regular human. I made a deal with a hag, and that essence got stored in this dagger that now sits on Strahd's side. He has the dagger holding my history in it. And
cool.
It's very cool. It's a very cool story. And now I'm looking for any sort of patron I can make to just take him out and take a dip into Warlock. See who will give me the power back to take him out. Anyway, have we chosen other?
I chose my second one. I'm just trying to find a different character sheet because each of my character sheets only let me enter all my text in one line in each of the entries. And so I'm trying to.
Rough.
I mean, it's a pretty simple character sheet. You could probably just, write it down anywhere.
Yeah, I might just have to print them out at some point.
Johnny, did you end up going with an origin trait?
No, I'm looking at some of the other traits in Fist right now.
Okay.
Was our second chosen one supposed to be an origin trait?
No. Johnny just asked about it. It doesn't, again,
it can be.
It can be.
Okay.
It does not have to be an origin trait. If you don't choose an origin trait, though, you will not get to choose one ever.
That's fine. I chose weird as my second trait.
Okay. Weird. Let's look at that.
It's pretty cool.
What do you do?
So it says the deep magics have gained a hold on your mind, opening it to many new opportunities and frightening powers. It gives me 2 abilities, I guess.
Oh, okay.
First one is transform. You may take the shape of any common beast while retaining your intelligence, and it just changes my stats and gives me some unarmed attack. Essentially, just wild shape, right?
It's wild shape, yeah.
And the other is ensnare mind, and I'm having questions about this because it's the description of ensnare mind doesn't really have any specific description. It just says you seize the mind of a human enemy while ensnared. They must take their turn to resist you. You can choose to extend this attack on the same target if they fail to resist. Now, is resist a type of role in the game, or?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So it's PBTA, so it's all going to be. I would imagine that it would be like a role on your end to like maintain this connection over them.
Yeah.
And if you fail, they would resist.
Okay.
Sort of thing. That is
Cool.
very, very cool.
Yeah. Although
That
it
is very
doesn't give
cool.
me any more like bonuses or anything to any other attributes.
I don't know.
But
It
it
gives
gives me
you some
those
cool
two
stuff.
very cool abilities.
What doors? Tell us about doors while we're on you.
Oh, doors is very cool. So the first line of doors says, when you enter through a door, you may emerge through any other door you have encountered. And so I feel like that's kind of like the supernatural part of Fist, right? And the second part is you have a method for pushing through locked/barricaded doors like lockpicks, bombs, or heavy boots. I just have something that works every time. But has always has an inconvenient downside, and the referee will tell you that.
What is your method for getting through a locked door?
My method. Part of me just wants to say the two front legs of my horse, but no. I think
It could be.
Yeah, I think my method. I'm just gonna say, lockpicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, also with our horses,
Yeah.
they're robots for sure, right?
Oh, for sure they're robots.
Okay, all right, just
Yeah.
double check.
I mean, they could be. I would also accept it if someone is like, can my regular horse have some sort of like power armor as well? And be like, of course.
Yeah, and my lockpicks are definitely an augmentation on the tip of my left index finger, like it's sort of like
fun.
flips open, and those come
I
Fun.
love that.
Yeah.
That's very,
Yeah, I
very
feel
fun.
like to the horse thing, my character is going to be the sort of person who like comes from a family that prides themselves on still like honor the old ways, and so he definitely rides like a real horse.
Like a real horse.
And we
Cool.
make fun of you for it.
Yeah,
Like, your horse can die of old age.
I just installed some new accelerators in my horse. How about you? Oh, that's right.
Danny, I think the inconvenient downside is that you're essentially like shunting part of your conscious into this key ring and unlocking it. So you're sort of like not you're a statue essentially when you're unlocking a door. So it leaves you a little vulnerable.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe my key my like lockpicks have like a little camera on the end of it, and so like
I think it's something like
my
that.
senses like move into my keyring, so I can actually like see inside the lock, but I'm not
Yeah.
aware of whatever's going on outside my actual body. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about the rest of you? Did you pick your second trait? And then please read both your traits so that
yeah.
you know.
For my second trait, I took focus, also from the original Fist book. So when you have a moment of utter tranquility to rest and digest the day's events, like a drink at an empty bar or a gorgeous view, gain a war die. You lose this war die if you fail to use it during this mission. And then I also get a stress ball that I can squeeze for +1 to any war die roll and -1 creative.
Okay. All right. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And what was you already read Duelist for
Yeah.
us.
Okay, all right. I have my selection, and I'll read both because I forgot to read Chef. But my second one, I was actually going to take one from Avalon Sentinel.
Beautiful,
You take
beautiful.
deathly seriously your duty to defend others. You have made the preparations necessary to do so. It gives me +4 HP, a great sword, which I guess it will be like a vibro great sword or something like that.
Yeah.
And the ability stand guard or action or whatever you want to call it. When an ally near you is hit by an attack, you can roll to parry the blow. If you succeed, no one takes damage. On a partial success, you take the damage. If you fail, the original target of the attack is hit.
That is very cool.
It's a
That's
fun one.
very cool.
going back to chef that I forgot to read. This is kind of a longer one. You can cook a good meal in almost any situation without rolling the dice. When you need to cook an exquisite meal, roll plus creative and choose one of the following effects on a partial success, or 2 on a full success. Grants +1, and these are the effects. The first one is grants +1 to any attribute for 1 roll. The second effect is heals 1d6 plus creative HP. And the last one is pacifies and nourishes those who eats it. And it also gave me a meat cleaver that I'm going to say is just a normal meat cleaver that
It's
I just
just a
have.
regular meat cleaver. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
Also +1 war dice. Sorry.
love that. That's dope. I am going to do like do the unmin maxer thing, and I'm going to get rid of focus. I'm not going to take focus because I just read something that fits better with what I want for my character. From Fist Avalon, which is Scion. Which
Fun.
is you are the favorite child of a very important family. Sure, you may be spoiled, but you try to make up for that in other ways. And so I get -1 forceful, which actually means that all of those attributes are 0 now. And then I also get a reinforced hauberk, which gives me +1 armor and can be worn with other armor.
Cool. That's very cool. There we go. You've chosen your traits. Wonderful. That's character creation. It was so quick. And if you would like come in knowing all the traits, you can see how quickly you'd be able to make characters, which is great because they might die quite frequently. We shall see. Does anyone have any questions? I think you've made your characters. Oh, you need to introduce your characters. Who are they?
The point as novices is that we were all freshly knighted, right? So it would be correct to call
Yes.
ourselves Sir something.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
knights.
you would be Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then I will be Sir Quintus.
Sir Quintus.
He is a very small knight.
You love making your characters small.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's just a little guy, you know?
Little
Just a little dude.
little wish fulfillment.
All Nick's characters, these little chibis.
Just little dudes. You know?
I gotta tell you, Nick, it's not that great being small. It's not that.
You don't have to destroy my fantasies like that. I don't know when you're coming after me.
Tell us about Sir Quintus.
Yeah, he he wears like a sort of futuristic like power. It's not like a big heavy armor set. That's actually a different trait that I saw. But it's sort of advanced looking suit. And it makes him a little bit taller, but it kind of just makes him like average height, and that's why it's clear that he's so small, even in his armor. But yeah, he has pretty dark eyes that are just very like they seem cold at first, and light brown hair, sort of close cropped, almost a military cut kind of deal. Yeah, I don't know. Tried to join the Knights of the Round. I would say he's are we allowed to not be nobles?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Yeah, of course.
Arthur's
Yeah,
whole
no, he
thing was anybody can be great.
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely going for that. Not a noble in any way. Has some military training beforehand. And that was it. What was sort of helped him to become a knight.
His name is
and-
Quintus, you said?
Quintus, yes. And yeah, I think before any of that really happened, he was, his family had like a restaurant kind of deal, or like an inn probably. And that's why he knows how to cook so good.
Nice. Love it. I love it. Who's next? Nobody.
Looking up
Wonderful.
names.
Only two options.
Ooh. I might just draw from actual Arthurian legend and name. Yeah, I'll do that. So my character's Sir Gawain, and he is the nephew of the king.
Oh,
Hence the armor.
Yeah.
Good.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, by all accounts, this goes back to Arthurian legend. In as much as anyone can expect Arthur to die, which is obviously never going to happen, Sir Gawain is, as of right now, kind of the de facto heir.
That is very interesting. I will say as well too that you well, I'll say this and then you can tell me. You are very quickly going to be introduced to another character in Arthurian legend, Modred. Are you Modred's older brother? Younger brother?
Let me double check how Gawain is related to Mordred, because I don't think that they're brothers at all.
I think cousins, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you are his nephew, so is Mordred. So you could be related. You don't have to be.
Well, they would be related to each other, but they wouldn't necessarily be brothers.
Right.
They could.
Like, people can have more than one sibling.
For sure.
And Arthur did.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm saying you could be, you could be what with you cousins, or you could be siblings.
And if you are siblings, who's the older?
Yes.
Right.
I didn't
let me look that up real quick.
Well, yeah, because now I just got to look up what his lineage would be.
What if they're cousin siblings?
Not another kind of podcast, Danny.
It's like that one Merlin movie from the 80s. I think they made Mordred Arthur's son with his sister.
Yeah.
That is something that I think when I was like looking up some things, that is one of the ways in which the legend has been told.
Yeah, Mordred and Gawain are half brothers.
Okay, half brothers.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, my knowledge of the Arthurian lore is very low.
Since this is a version of Gawain because we're all novices, we just joined the Knights, would it make more sense for him to be sort of the younger half brother of?
Yeah, we could say I think he is younger. He's the son of Lot and Morghese, actually. So Morgana, Morgan Le Fay is his mother.
I love this. Not to tip too much of my hand as well. Do you know where your mother is?
No.
Wonderful.
When I joined my uncle's household, I had to renounce my connection to my parents.
You know where your mother.
Perfect. I can keep notes how they are.
Almost just fucking steamrolled through Justin's plans.
Again, look, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting. Sure. I would have changed and adapted.
Justin and Bob would leave with the best of them.
Danny, what?
Yes. So the character I'll be playing is named Sir Carys.
Carys.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell
us about Sir Carys.
Sir Carys is a small, maybe a little bit taller than Sir Quintus, because I know you said that Quintus is a small lad, but definitely on the scrawnier side. His armor seems to rattle every time he runs around in it. And I think when Sir Carys was sort of first became a novice, everyone was kind of put off because he looked very similar to a child street urchin, a beggar that everyone recognized. And so there's some suspicion there. but yeah, no, he's very quiet. He doesn't say much about his past, and it seems to be because of out of embarrassment. um, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it.
Wonderful. I
I just realized I didn't actually describe Gawain at all. I just said
Please,
that it's
yes.
Gawain.
Yeah. No. We all know what Gawain. Everyone knows what Gawain looks like. You don't need to describe it.
No, for our purposes, we'll say he's tall, he's handsome. Very little of Arthur in his face, but everyone knows that he's the king's nephew.
Mhm.
He's got dark long hair that's usually in like a man bun sort of thing, and like piercing jade green eyes.
Mhm.
And like kind of like your perfect like he's a scion, right? He's like your perfect example of what
Yep.
a noble should be.
Yep.
And he kind of, whether or not he feels like he meets that standard, he has to hold himself to it because of who his uncle is and who he's in the court of. But yeah, he like, you know, he's that guy that I feel like everybody went to school with, that like you're not entirely sure if he's like being nice or being a dick, and so you just have to assume that he's being a dick. And a lot of times he is being a dick.
Well, it's like Arthur in the BBC Merlin.
Yeah. I've seen like
bit.
an episode of that, but if I remember correctly, yeah.
Arthur's kind of a dick to Merlin.
Oh, okay.
He's your typical like jock.
Oh yeah, there's like the same
Kind
age
of.
in that, which is like weird and bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Wonderful. All right. I think we are cleared to hop into the imagination plane. Take off.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
Shit, I forgot my passport.
Oh, you're gonna have to get off
So
then.
CrowdStrike doesn't get us.
Not again.
Not again.
Even in our imaginations, CrowdStrike is still here. Damn it.
Our imagination planes are grounded.
No.
I'm stuck in Fort Worth, Dallas.
Imagination Fort Worth, Dallas. And it's somehow worse than Fort Worth, Dallas.
To all of our friends who live in Fort Worth, if there are any. We're talking about the airport. I'm sure your city is nice. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Imagination O'Hare, which is a trash airport in a trash city in the imagination and real world.
I already know Johnny and I are going to argue so much about Chicago at Gen Con. I've been preparing myself for it. To defend
my imagination.
Goddamn.
My imagination O'Hare is like the size of a state, because every time I've dreamed of the O'Hare Airport, it's like Coruscant. It's huge.
No, O'Hare is like one of the worst airports in the country. I don't actually feel as strongly about Chicago as I joke about feeling about Chicago, but I do feel that strongly about O'Hare.
Look, this may be a hot take, but I grew up with LAX, and LAX is the goddamn worst airport I've ever been in my entire life. So when I moved to O'Hare, and I'm like, it only takes me 30 minutes to get through like security. Sign me up. This is the best airport I've ever been in.
Yeah, but I mean,
you
like,
genuinely have to get to LAX 2 hours ahead of time. Like 2 hours, like you have to plan on 2 hours of being in security before you can even get into like it's nuts.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that O'Hare is as bad as LAX, because LAX is clearly Atlanta's worse than O'Hare too, but like O'Hare still sucks.
It was an upgrade for me. It was an upgrade for me. So I have fonder memories of O'Hare, but I understand why people would hate it. Anyway, we've been cleared to go fly out of imagination airports. We're gonna open today on a high sky view. You look down, there are rolling meadows, mist. It's beautiful. It's ancient. It feels magical as we're zooming through these mountains and hills and forests, and then we crest over a mountain to see a city, and it has spires and lights, and there's an airship that's currently docking on one of the spires poles, and we like zoom in and we start zooming through the streets, and we see like food carts and taverns kind of juxtaposed next to these like blinding technological lights of the city. And then we like keep zooming through the streets, the cobble streets, until we get to the very center of the city, and there's a giant tower right in the center of the city, and we zoom up it until we're at the very, very top floor, and we start to move into the glass to see a throne. And around the throne, there are these like, what's the word I'm looking for? There are these cables. There's almost like an electric blue current running through them, but they're wrapped around tree branches as well too. And as we get closer, we can see that it is the top of a giant tree interwoven with all this technology and cables and magic running through it. And then at the base of the floor and at the base of the tree is this throne. And sitting on the throne, not in any sort of power armor, but in just regular knightly armor, is a goddamn beautiful human being. Just exuding kingliness and kindness is King Arthur. He is sitting at his throne, and then the camera sort of zooms back around to the giant double doors that open into this room, and the three of you walk in. King
would
Arthur
Walk
looks
up
at
and
you.
kneel, right?
Yeah. Please, friends, stand up. Congratulations on being knighted. That was an impressive display. I am proud of each and every one of you. Sir Quintus, Sir Gawain, Sir Carys. Fantastic job, all of you. You have earned your place. And the Knights of the Round Table.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I don't think we deserve that praise, but I appreciate it.
You are too kind, Uncle.
We both turned.
You wait for Sir Carys to say something.
Carys looks. I imagine Carys is like in the middle. He just looks at Arthur and gives a nod. Maybe his visor closes on his face and he puts it back up.
Wonderful. Yes. Well, I unfortunately do not have much time for you to rest on your laurels and celebrate your joining of our brotherhood. I have a mission for the three of you. I assume you know of the gathering of forces in Norway, and he looks at Sir Gawain when he says this. King Lot appears to be gathering his forces. Looks as though he's going to break our truce, unfortunately. Until he makes a move, I will not strike first.
What are we to do, Uncle?
I have to go near the border, gather some forces myself, just in case he makes a play. I have to leave very quickly, but I have a mission for the three of you. We've been hearing of tale of some of our cities and villages have heard tale of strange magical lights near the border. And I'm tasking the three of you to investigate what it is. Find out what is making this energy. If it be friend, have it join our side. If it be foe, ensure that it cannot help King Lot.
We shall ensure the king's justice, whatever that looks like.
If you have any questions, unfortunately, I need to leave and gather my things. And he looks to his side and goes, Merlin! And outside of a door, sort of to the left of his throne, a robot comes out. It's, yes, hello, I am Merlin. And if there were like what's the word I'm looking for? If there were like subtitles, if this was a movie, it would be like M.E.R.L.I.N.
The E is lowercase for no reason. Just like, what?
Or a 3.
Yeah.
M3RLI.
M3RL1N.
Now it's just elite speak. It's not even.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh wow.
Merlin, you needn't introduce yourself every time you come into a room.
Unfortunately, my program dictates otherwise.
Surely we can get that fixed.
Yeah. I don't think there's a single citizen of the realm that doesn't know who Merlin is.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I have to leave. Please direct any questions you have towards Merlin. He can fill you in on the situation.
Of course. And I like bow at the waist.
Yeah, we bow.
Mm-hmm.
He walks towards the three of you as you're bowing and kind of puts his hand under each of your heads and kind of lifts you back up. You are Knights of the Round Table now. We are all equal. I am no more important than the three of you. And you are no less important than I.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Of course.
Thank you.
Right.
And he walks off.
Holy sh! I can't believe we were just talking about King Arthur. Oh, man, it's your uncle, huh?
Yeah,
Sir Gawain?
he's no less impressive to me than he is to you, I assure you.
I believe it. So, Merlin, what were the details of the mission?
Yes. And 1 second. And he ushers you into the room he had come out of. This way. Follow me.
Of course.
Fall after you.
And when you walk in, it's just this room, and there are like baubles and like flasks with like boiling alchemical substances in it. But there's also like next to it as well too, like a computer, and you can tell like Merlin's been like typing and making notes on some of these alchemical concoctions. I feel like there's got to be one of those like balls that's just like emitting electricity. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And he walks up to his desk and grabs a file. It's like just a clear tablet essentially, and hands it to you. We've been hearing words from Dervinshire area that there have been black lightning
Lightning.
Do you
Also,
think it's sorcery?
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, just to set the scene really quick. Quintus waits for Gawain to grab the thing from Merlin. He just
doesn't want to touch something. Who knows with Merlin?
No. He's
I think
like
he's deferring to Gawain.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yes, magic is something we've considered as well. Although some of the wizard warlords are in that area as well too, and you know that they have tech that can create all sorts of strange concoctions in the sky. So we're not quite sure, which is why we want you to investigate it.
Of course. Is there anything else that you can tell us?
The people are dedicated to the king. Although being so close to the border, there's always the chance that there are incumbents there infringing upon King Arthur's territory. It is close to the sleeping forest as well. I would hope that your travels don't bring you to the sleeping forest. That would spell almost certain doom for you.
Well, now that you've expressed the hope, it almost certainly will. So there's that.
That is the way of things.
Carys lets out this like nervous cough.
he just says, "Chekhov's gun," and runs over to an experiment. He's got like a gun on a stand, and he fiddles with it a little bit, and then turns back around. Yes, you were saying? Yes. What?
How subtle.
Yes.
So, I suppose we should be off at once.
Yes, you should. Any questions? Otherwise, please leave me. I have many experiments to.
I'm
Quintus,
all right.
Carys.
I've
All right.
got my direction. That's all I need.
Yes, we have a heading.
Well, thank you, Merlin. Hope to speak with you again.
Of course, if you need any tune-ups, now you've got access to the Knights of the Round Table's Ripper Docks. Please see them if you need any tune-ups.
Of course.
Goodbye. And he turns and ignores you completely and just begins fiddling with some contraptions. And as you leave, there's like an explosion.
And Merlin dies.
Merlin does not die, but there's an explosion.
You know, after meeting His Majesty, that was kind of a letdown, to be honest.
Merlin puts on a show of being something that he's not. Don't believe for a second the old man's not more cunning than anyone you've ever met.
So
And
he's
that
not a
robot is
robot.
just a shell. His consciousness used to be in a man. At least that's what I've heard. I've never been brave enough to ask him directly.
That's kind of an awkward question. What happened to your old meat sack?
You hear stories around the castle that there's, experiments that he runs on those who ask too many questions of him and of his past. So,
Well, I am going to be nothing but polite, Merlin.
probably the best. Are you guys both wearing your armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my helmet is on, like as casually as you can wear.
Yeah.
Our armor.
Yes.
He's done that.
Gawain is not.
Mm.
Like you guys, I think obviously we've like trained together a ton. You guys have seen Gawain in his armor, but he's not. He's wearing like the hauberk and like his under armor stuff, but he's not wearing his armor.
Are we sponsored?
Under Armour.
The layer of
no, but I would guess based on the way you described Quintus, Gawain is actually probably still a little bit taller than Quintus with his armor on.
Yeah, almost certainly.
For sure.
And I don't know how tall Carys is. So
Sir Gawain, do we need to head to the armory, so for you to prepare
No,
yourself?
my armor's with me. But we should head to the stables. I need my horse.
Absolutely. Wait, as do we all.
Yes. And also, I mean, I do appreciate the deference, but it's not necessary, Quintus. You don't need to call me sir. We share a rank.
I will try to keep that in mind. I am unfamiliar with this. I just it's all new. Gawain.
Right.
I understand that as well, Quintus. I'm in the same shoes as you. But Gawain, you shall go to the stables while we go to the charging station.
No, I would assume
Our
that they are
horses?
all stables. There just is like a couple of.
Oh, there's like a
Yeah,
Tesla
there's, like-
station next to it.
Yeah.
it's-
Basically, that's what I'm imagining. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like it's
I
all
think it's
called
all
the
the stables.
stables, but there's just a couple of spots where like
A
people who
normal
keep
horse
horses are there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the opposite of our
And it's-
world. Instead of just
Yeah.
like a couple of charging places, it's like a couple regular stables in the midst of.
Yeah.
Yes, you show up to the stables and collect your horses. Yeah. Onto the wilds, as it were.
Yes.
We're off.
I like very much picture this world and this setting like very much like Final Fantasy games where like you've got these like spaces of culture and like technology and magic, and then like in between that it's just like wild swaths of like monsters and forests and that sort of thing.
Yeah. England.
England, exactly. England. So that is what you were traveling through, and I think the well, let's see, time is it 10:20? No, let's get you to Derbyshire.
Yeah. Up until this point, too, like Gawain still has not. You guys still have not seen him put any armor on. He's still. You know,
You're gonna have like nanotech armor or something, aren't ya?
You
So
don't know.
Carys Canadian.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
should've-
think also as we travel the roads, yeah, I think Sir Quintus's like chef skills are consistently like
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
he can cook a
I
good
picture-
meal at any time with
Yeah.
no roll.
Yeah.
Sorry, what
Picture
was it?
Quintus with like the like when Samwise Gamgee was ever traveling, he always had like the pots and pans slung around him
Yeah,
as well.
Mhm.
and
I think
so-
they're hanging from his horse in this case, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yep. You know, it probably takes a few days of travel to get to Derbyshire, and when you get to the town, it looks more like what you would expect a medieval village to look like. It's smaller, the houses are smaller. There's obviously, maybe the houses are partly metal as well. It's not just like wood. But you can tell it's not Camelot, right? It's not the technological marvel and wonder that Camelot is. Yeah. There's, it's small, so there's probably like a tavern or an inn, and then like a few houses surrounding it. And that's pretty much it.
So the inn probably, or is it like late enough that we need to like stay here? Or?
Yeah, I mean it depends. What do you guys think? Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters to me.
I mean, I
guys
would
want to-
imagine that we probably have been pretty intentional about staggering our stops in travel so that we arrive here at a time where we can ask villagers questions during
Sure.
the day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then absolutely. Yep. Yeah. It's during the day then.
All right.
Dismount and ask around, I guess.
Yes. Should we go? I suppose tavern first.
good spot.
As good as any. Well,
Yes.
maybe better than any. It's pretty much the social hub of information. So
Yeah.
Quintus and Carys plug in, our
Yeah.
robot horses.
Yeah, there's a charging
And-
port. Yeah, exactly.
And then they're just next to that. There is also a post for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I imagine if there's a is the tavern just a tavern or is it an inn?
It's both. It can be both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they probably have grooms. So I take
Absolutely.
my horse to the grooms and
You get there and the boy's like, "Oh, I haven't seen a real horse in like years. Where'd you get it?"
it's my family raises them. It's treat him
Wow,
well, please.
Fancy. Will do. Will do.
Yes, I appreciate it, and I give him what is like a socially unacceptable amount of coin.
for the service.
And you just there's silence from him. He's just staring down at the coin in his palm as you walk away.
Are you sure you trust them? They seem pretty fascinated by a real horse.
Yeah, I mean it'll be fine. Brego can take care of himself, and really it's just a place for him to stand for a few hours while we take care of what we need to.
Hopefully get a snack as well. Also, Carys, you should trust your fellow realmsman a little bit more as a knight of the round. Try to see the best.
The
Perhaps
small
you're
folk
right.
are nothing if not trustworthy.
Carys kind of smirks at that and continues walking.
Definitely not when Gawain's looking at him. Quintus just squints kind of hard and just tries to move past that.
When you walk into the tavern, you are met with a wild time, right? There are people that are drinking and having a good time. There's music playing. You also, though, your attention is immediately brought to another knight. Their back is turned to you. They're sort of sitting at one of those tavern stools and drinking a beer. But very clearly another knight of the round table.
Does he have any colors that indicate who he is, or
Probably, right? That would make sense. And in fact, if anyone is going to recognize this, it is probably Sir Gawain, because this is your half brother, Modred.
Oh, brother?
Gawain, is that you, Gawain? Get over here!
What are you doing in Derbyshire? Look at my nose.
King Arthur, he sent me to the front lines for a little bit, investigate and see what King Laud is doing, and didn't see anything, so I started heading back. Thought I'd stop in this wonderful little town, got a drink, turned into a few more.
You didn't see anything? I can't imagine the villains doing nothing over there.
Well, they were gathering forces, but they couldn't see them making any attacks or movement, if that makes any sense. And King Arthur said until they make the first move, we can't fight back. So unfortunately, he has bade me to come back to Camelot.
Yes. Well, Father's going to make a move eventually. We both know it.
Of course we know it. Just frustrated that Arthur doesn't see it that way. You and I should just go attack now. Wipe them out, come back to the king, let him know it's been dealt with.
You tempt me, brother, but I've only just reached this station. It's probably not time for me to tempt it.
Fine. If you grow a pair, come find me. What are the three of you doing here?
Oh, we just came to get drinks. We heard this is a wonderful tavern. No, Modred, we're here on business. Why else would we be here?
Do I need to make myself any clearer to you? What is the business that the king has sent you on here? I know you're here on business.
He sent us to ask questions of the locals of some things that have been going on. Have you heard stories of black lightning and lights in the sky?
now that you mention it, I did see some when I was coming towards Derbyshire. I dare say that the citizens have been speaking nothing about it. Have been speaking nothing but about the lightning that they're seeing.
Did you have any indication of where the lightning was occurring over?
Yes, there was a forest, I believe. Sorry, I'm not up on the local geography up in this area. It's been a while since I've been up here, but I saw
The
it
dark
over.
forest.
It was dark, yes. I don't know if it's the dark forest.
It is a famed forest, brother.
I told you, I don't know the geography.
Mm.
That's not my strong suit.
Sure. I look at the barkeep. I believe my brother's a little too in his cups. I think it's time for him to receive only water.
Right. I hear you. Yep. No, only water for him. No. Don't. No, sorry. We're going to have to cut you off. Fine. And Mordred sort of upset, kind of pushes his spear off to the side.
Mordred, remember whose table you belong to. Port yourself correctly.
Yeah. Fine.
Now, can you point us in the direction of maybe a few citizens who seem to have seen the most?
And he will point with his gauntleted hand towards a table in towards the back of the tavern. And you can see that there are kids over there. And it is at this point that Mordred passes out.
It was a very interesting day.
Yes. Did I see Mordred's horse or steed, whatever he rides, when we came in?
Probably, yeah.
I just kind of didn't really acknowledge it when we first
Sure.
saw it.
Yeah. Maybe you weren't expecting him to be out here.
Yeah. I'll grab a couple of just random people. Would you escort this gentleman to the stall where his horse waits? The groom should be able to point you in the right direction.
Yes, sir. Yeah, of course, yes.
Thank you. Quintus, shall we question the children?
Absolutely. Fine. Hello, little ones. I'm Sir Quintus. This is Sir Gawain, and this is Sir Carys. We had heard from our other knightly friend that you were speaking of the Black Lightning, and might know a bit more about it.
Yeah, we know about Black Lightning, yeah.
Could you help out us Knights of the Round and tell us about it?
Well, you got to help us out first, yeah?
That is how things usually work. Smiling, he reaches into his coin purse and takes out I don't know, like a fair amount of money. It's not even close to what Gawain just tossed at the stable hand, but a bit of money, and he sets down a small pile, and he says, so that up front, and then that again afterwards, after you share everything.
I think that this should be a roll.
It's fair.
I think it should be a roll. Our first roll. I realized we haven't rolled at all this entire time. There could have probably been a few times that we rolled.
It's okay. We're shaking the rust off.
Yeah.
My chair has wheels on it, and those have been rolling.
So it's a very simple resolution system. just I think we can have a discussion about which attribute we think is the most relevant, and roll it up. And that's it.
Yep. I would either go for tactical or creative.
Yeah, I think both of those make sense to me. I think I'm leaning towards tactical. I'm
Yeah.
leaning towards tactical.
7.
Okay, so a partial success. Accomplish your action, but with a cost, compromise, or complication. What did you ask them exactly?
To tell us what they know about the Black Lightning.
Yeah. Okay. The one who looks like he's in charge should have takes the bag, pulls out one of the copper coins, gives it a bite, puts it back in the bag. Yeah, all right, okay. See you. The Black Lightning, huh? King's finally interested in taking care of it, yeah?
Yes.
I care about how you speak of the king, young man.
Sorry. So thankful King Arthur's here to take care of it.
We'll challenge one of these kids to a duel.
So Gawain. It's not.
It's not
all worth
murder
it.
children. It's not
They,
murder children.
I wasn't saying that.
It's not murder if they agreed to a duel.
True.
Okay, sure, that's a good point. Yeah, no, the Black Lightning right over the sleeping forest.
Yes.
Yeah, happens every night, around 9 or so.
No, it's so regular. Is there a particular part of the forest that?
Yeah,
could-
right in the center, right in the middle.
Do I have any inkling of the veracity of what he's telling me? Like, does it feel like he's lying to me? or
Lying to you.
Keeping something.
It not about this.
Okay.
Not about this. I think the cost or compromise or the complication is that you can tell that he's keeping something not hidden and back. He's telling you everything about the Black Lightning, but there's something off about this child.
Mm. You know, I grew up in the 5th Ward of Camelot. I spent a lot of time in groups like these growing up. It would do you well to share everything that you have that you can, so that we may be best equipped to help your town, but also for your own personal gain. And I put down another, pile of coin.
Okay. Let's get another roll. Let's get another roll.
That's fair. This time, I kind of want to go because I'm trying to connect with him.
Creative.
Kind of want to go
Yeah.
creative. Yeah.
I'm with you. That's what I was thinking as well.
9.
A 9. Okay. The kid sort of looks sheepish at you, looks at the bag of gold, and then looks off to the barkeeper for a moment, and then looks back at you. Yeah, well, it's not like we've gotten a lot out here. We're too far from Camelot. Really gain the benefit of really anything. 'anything. 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 ' That was so close to King Lot that sometimes feels like he's our king. At least that's what my dad says.
And who is your dad?
He owns the place.
Well,
Look, that's all I know about the Black Lightning, all right?
I appreciate it. Thank you for your help. And I give him the amount I promised in the beginning and the extra I had put. Thank you for your help. But remember this. It is easy to get caught in the idea of, our own personal troubles being the fault of those who command us, those who are of a higher station. It's easy to feel like our lives are our own making, but this town would not have the peace that it does if King Arthur had not claimed it and had not defended it. Lot would be your king, and he would not be as kind as King Arthur. So know that in your heart, young one. And I get up and walk over. I like reconvene with you guys. I mean, because I don't want to immediately go to the bartender is my only point.
Yeah, I think like Gawain is like staring at like not necessarily at, but toward the bartender with pretty open hostility after hearing what the kid said.
Gawain, I do believe we should speak to the bartender.
I should cut his tongue from his head.
Gawain, remember who we are representing, the table we belong to.
I remember well. And he besmirches his name.
Your frustration and your... Sorry, the word escaped me.
Meaniness.
No, like retributive feelings. Well, whatever. Your desire for justice is completely correct. It is easy for the little folk to misconstrue the situations of their lives. And it is easy to blame someone far away for the things that aren't going right.
All right. Now is not the time for wrath.
And it will be quite helpful to our quest to have as much information as possible. So,
yes.
You
ask your questions. I will wait outside.
Thank you.
Gawain goes out and is like pacing out in front of the tavern. You guys can like occasionally see him out one of the windows, like stare in for a second and then keep pacing.
Oh God. As we pass the children, Carys will sort of just like ruffle up the hair of the one that Quintus was talking to on our way to the bartender.
Hey, stop it! Stop it!
Just gives him a smirk.
Excuse me, sir.
Hey, what do you want?
I just wanted to speak to you. I was talking to your son about the black lightning that had been seen at the edge of, over the forest near town.
What do he do now?
Oh, he didn't.
Do we need to pay you anything?
No, he helped.
Any damages?
Very, very significantly damages.
We could make back what you paid his son.
maybe his son should become a knight of the round. No, sir. He was very helpful. He was answering some questions that I had.
Sure, it was my son you were talking to. Homefoot doesn't sound like him at all. He's a right smart mouth.
He did seem like a very intelligent child. If that's what
intelligence, one way to put it.
Right. Yeah, he was sitting right up there. He said, "You're his father." Just clear, kind of like Quintus just doesn't know how to read this dude. I was just wondering if you knew anything further, as as an adult in the village, if the village has had any, I don't know, any other experiences, or someone saw something more detailed, it was shared.
About the Black Lightning.
About the Black Lightning, yes.
What do you want to know so bad?
We are here to investigate it. We are Knights of the Round.
Oh, King Arthur, yeah?
That is His Majesty, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful. Well, we've obviously sent out scouts just to see if we could see what was going on. None of them have come back. So we've lost quite a lot of people to this Black Lightning thing.
And that is why we're here.
Yeah, it's been, a few months, huh? Thanks for getting here.
Well, we were knighted today, but also you realize there's war brewing. Like I don't mean to, take any sort of value from the lives that were lost. It is tragic, but our country, entire nation, can be in danger.
You're saying your lives matter more than my friends that went into the forest?
No.
Is that what you and the Knights of the Round Table stand for? The loss of life?
No, we stand for preserving it. It's just an unfortunate calculus. There are many more lives in the kingdom than being lost to this forest, but we are here to prevent further loss. That is all that there is to it.
Was losing my wife calculus?
No, it was a tragedy. And I'm sorry that you did. Was she lost to the lightning? Or
Yeah. She was our town's best scout.
when was she the first?
Yeah.
And when this happened months ago, you said?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't give up on any of the lost yet. You don't know what has happened to them, and we will do our best to recover them. And sir, I am not one to demand faith, and I am not nearly as insulted by your open treachery as Sir Gawain is. And I mean, like, I kind of like look out the window.
Still pacing back and forth.
Indicatively.
Dwayne is fully just like staring in the window. Just like
God.
Have you ever heard of the culling of the Fifth Ward?
There's some sort of attack, right? Camelot?
Yes, in the Fifth Ward, the underbelly of the city of Camelot had a strong foundation there, and they had been working with some of Camelot's enemies. It's not even clear who exactly, but the leading theory is Lot's men. Obviously unclaimed, as it would be open war and breaking of the treaty. Before the culling, the Fifth Ward was hell on earth. Every night, my family lived in fear. Every day, we lived in fear. We had to serve ruffians, and they often attacked us for fun, destroyed our property. Life was dangerous, and it was terrifying. The culling of the Fifth Ward was the Knights of the Round cleaning out that mess. Does my suffering before the culling of the Fifth Ward mean that what they did was not good? Does the lives lost in the Fifth Ward because of the crime, are those not tragedies, but do they outweigh the fact that it happened at all? No. I am sorry for your loss. But all we can do is what we can do. We cannot change the past. And we will do as much as we can. I will do as much as I can to protect you, your son, and the rest of the people of this village, and the rest of the people of this realm. And I will also include the people who have been lost to the lightning, and to the best of my ability, I will recover them. That I swear. So if you cannot have faith in your king, I recommend you do. But if you can't, at least have hope in me, sir.
Man, I don't want to make you roll. That was a great speech.
Because that was really good.
That was really, really good.
Really, really good. Gawain from the window just nodding.
Yes. Yes.
I do think I'm gonna ask for a roll still. I'm gonna ask for
That's
a
right.
roll still.
I just imagine like a camera on Sir Quintus slowly zooming in as if he's giving this awesome speech, but the entire time blurred in the background and the window is just Gawain nodding.
So I rolled double sixes.
Whoa! What a perfect time. Love it when role and story meets together. The bartender kind of moves towards you. And for like a moment, your like night reflexes get triggered. You're like, oh my god, he's going to attack me. But he kind of like grips your like the lapel of your armor and just begins like weeping. And he's through the tears, he's like, you're right. I'm sorry. I was collaborating with King Law. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please. Please. Whatever you need. Please take what you need. Go to the forest.
I very gently reach, like put a hand on his shoulder, and then sort of reach under his head and lift his head very similarly to how Arthur lifted ours.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you are no collaborator if you turn to your, your nation's knights and help us to uncover the plot. Correct?
Yes. Lots and some men. They were interested in the Black Lightning as well.
And you told them the same
as them everything.
Is that more than what we know? I don't know how to ask that question. Was there anything that you or your son, like I explained, like what his son explained?
No. He says no. That's all we know. Every night around 9 p.m. people that go investigate don't come back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sir. And I lean in really close. You are not a collaborator. They threatened you and your son, and you answered their questions. I lean back. I understand what has happened. We will thank you for letting me know about the knights. We will be pursuing them and pursuing whatever leads we can about the lightning. Everything will be all right.
Yes, of course.
I will make sure that they do not harm you or your son. And I, straighten him up. And I'll actually like pull him in for an embrace at this point. And then pat him on the shoulders. So Carys.
As you walk away, Sir Carys will say, Quintus, I must say you are very good with the people, and I feel you very virtuous, and I am honored to be partied with you.
The honor is mine, Sir Carys. I simply before the culling of the Fifth Ward, all we had was hope. And I'd just like to share it if I get the chance.
I understand that. And I'm sorry for you having to have gone through that.
There's no reason to apologize for the past. And we go up. So, Gawain, we have our heading, and unfortunately, we've learned that Sir Lot has sent his own knights to investigate illegally across our border.
I clap you on the shoulder. I say, but I saw the bartender's tears. You gave him a good what for, I see.
Of course. They came in, threatened the man and his son. He felt the need to tell them what was going on.
You can't fault
with
a
the
man
lightning.
for revealing things under duress.
Yes, it is an unfortunate circumstance. But now we know, much to his, to his own bravery, he revealed that they had threatened him and that they are ahead of us. So
yes,
we must
make off at
deal with
once.
them.
So not only do we have to go into the forest, which Merlin said spells almost certain doom, but now there is a band of opposition in there as well.
Oh,
That
on.
that question is undercut by a scream.
Jesus.
Oh, we immediately sprint to wherever the source of the sound came from, right?
It's
where did the scream come from?
It's like really close to like the entrance into this town. There is a dead body, and standing over it is it's small. You can tell that the creature is small, but it's bigger because it's in a suit of power armor.
I almost forgot that word.
Yeah, you kind of forget, right? You kind of forget.
Yeah.
I think it's a really fun thing.
Yeah. It's got the head is like round shaped, and it's got these like long ears coming out of it. And I'll just tell you that it is a fey creature. It is a goblin. And on its side are they look kind of like wolves, but you know that these are not wolves. These are fey beasts.
Do we understand them to would we be familiar with them, and would we understand them to be intelligent or beasts?
The goblin is certainly intelligent. The fey beast.
Would we understand it to be sinister?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's standing over a bleeding person that it's like holding up its sword, right? It had just like gotten done slicing through this. But we're gonna have to put off your actions till next week.
Man,
Wow.
what did do my sword?
Wonderful. I think that went well. That speech at the end there, Nick. That was
perfect. I'm
in the vibe. I'm in the night vibe. It was very
perfectly splendid.
Very virtuous. Well, we'll see where this keeps going. I'm very interested to see what happens. And we will see you next week. Bye.
See you.